The galaxy believed that humanity was fragile, just another primitive race ready for conquest. When the Zorkon Empire, the greatest and most feared power in the known universe, set its sights on Earth, the Council of Conquerors expected an easy victory. With humanity's technology leagues behind and their planetary defenses considered laughable, this backwater planet was supposed to be a minor footnote in the annals of Zorkon domination. It all started with a grand invasion plan. The Zorkon Council had meticulously charted Earth's position, gathered intelligence from spies and reconnaissance drones, and concluded that the entire operation would be completed within a few weeks. The species that dominated Earth, humans, would either be slaves or dust. This wasn't just arrogance, their empire had crushed countless civilizations over thousands of years. Resistance against their fleets was futile. Or so they thought. Commander Kether, one of the highest-ranking military officials of the Empire, addressed the council before launching the invasion. His voice boomed with the confidence of a man who had never lost a battle in his life. "The planet is as good as ours," he sneered, his crimson eyes scanning the faces of the other council members. "Their defenses are laughable. Their technology is centuries behind us. In one fell swoop, we will take their world, strip it of resources, and enslave the survivors." The council members nodded in agreement. Among them was High Strategist Vildax, whose expertise in war tactics had earned him respect across the galaxy. Even Vildax, who had seen countless worlds fall, saw no reason for concern. "The humans are divided," Vildax said, adjusting the holographic map of Earth that floated above the council table. "They fight amongst themselves, their military factions squabbling for control. They have no chance of mounting a unified defense." "Then it's settled," Commander Kether declared, slamming his fist into the table. "We launch the attack. Humanity will fall, and Earth will become another jewel in the Zorkon crown." The invasion began with a bombardment of Earth's satellites and defense networks. Waves of drones and warships descended upon the planet, destroying communication systems, disabling military outposts, and leveling entire cities with precision strikes. Within days, Earth's governments had fallen into chaos. Military responses were scattered, uncoordinated, and ineffective. On the surface, it seemed like the Zorkon were winning easily, just as they had predicted. The alien fleets dominated the skies, and Earth's largest cities lay in ruin. But as the days passed, something strange began to happen. Despite their overwhelming firepower, the Zorkon couldn't locate the remaining human forces. Battleships circled the planet, scanning the surface for life signs, but it was as if humanity had vanished. Commander Kether stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the holographic display in front of him. Red dots representing Zorkon forces swarmed across the planet's surface, but no blue dots, no human resistance appeared on the map. It didn't make sense. "Where are they?" Kether growled, his voice low and menacing. "We've destroyed their cities, their armies. Why aren't they surrendering?" The officers around him shuffled nervously, unwilling to meet his gaze. "Commander," one of his lieutenants finally spoke up, "our scouts have found nothing. No survivors, no resistance. It's as if they've disappeared." Kether's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. They're hiding. They must be hiding." But as days turned into weeks, the Zorkon forces grew more and more frustrated. Search parties combed the ruins of cities, forests, and even underground tunnels, but no trace of the humans could be found. The mighty Zorkon Empire, with its unparalleled technology and superior intellect, was being outwitted by a species they had considered inferior. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, hidden far from the prying eyes of Zorkon scanners, the human resistance was preparing. Captain Lila Ross, one of the leaders of the resistance, stood in a massive underground bunker, surrounded by her team of operatives. Holographic maps of Earth's cities glowed on the walls, displaying the movements of the Zorkon forces. "They think we've been wiped out," Ross said, her voice steady but filled with determination. Let them think that. It's the only advantage we have. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Reese, frowned as he looked over the maps. But Captain, we can't stay hidden forever. Sooner or later, they'll figure out we're still here. Ross turned to face him, her gaze sharp. That's why we're not going to stay hidden. We're going to hit them where it hurts. The Resistance had been planning for this day for years. Long before the Zorkon arrived, Earth's scientists and military leaders had anticipated that an alien invasion was inevitable. They had developed advanced cloaking technology, built underground bunkers, and trained a network of operatives to fight a guerrilla war against any invader. But the most important weapon in their arsenal wasn't technology, it was unpredictability. The Zorkon were used to overwhelming their enemies with brute force. They expected straightforward battles, overwhelming victories. What they couldn't predict was humanity's ability to adapt, to think creatively, and to use their own arrogance against them. As the Zorkon forces continued to search in vain, strange reports began to filter in. Patrols were disappearing without a trace. Entire squadrons of drones were being destroyed, their wreckage found scattered across the landscape. And yet, there was no sign of human activity. It was as if the Zorkon invaders were being hunted. Back on the Zorkon flagship, Commander Kether's frustration had turned into fury. How is this happening? He snarled, slamming his fist onto the control console. We've scoured every inch of this planet. Where are the humans? His officers cowered before him, terrified of his wrath. But none of them had an answer. The truth was that the Zorkon were walking into traps. Human operatives, using their advanced cloaking technology, were sabotaging alien equipment, planting explosives, and striking at key Zorkon installations before disappearing into the shadows. They were ghosts, invisible and untraceable, striking from the darkness and leaving no trace behind. Meanwhile, in the underground resistance base, Captain Ross and her team monitored the situation with grim satisfaction. The Zorkon were falling into disarray. Their arrogance had blinded them to the fact that they were now the prey. They're panicking, Ross said, watching as another Zorkon battleship was disabled by one of their traps. They don't know what's happening. They're scared. Lieutenant Reese grinned. They should be. They thought they'd crush us without breaking a sweat. Now they're the ones running scared. But Ross knew the fight was far from over. The Zorkon still had overwhelming firepower, and if they figured out where the Resistance was hiding, they could wipe them out in an instant. The key was to keep them guessing, to never let them feel in control. Prepare for Phase 2, Ross ordered. We're going to take the fight to them. Phase 2 of the Resistance's plan was audacious. Instead of simply hiding and picking off Zorkon patrols, they were going to launch a full-scale counterattack. Using the cloaking technology they had developed, human operatives would infiltrate the Zorkon command ships, disable their systems, and sow chaos among their ranks. It was a dangerous plan. The Zorkon still vastly outnumbered them, and one mistake could lead to the complete annihilation of the Resistance. But humanity had never won by playing it safe. The operation began under the cover of night. Human operatives, equipped with cloaking devices, infiltrated the Zorkon ships stationed above Earth. Moving with precision and silence, they planted explosives, sabotaged key systems, and disabled the ship's communication arrays. One by one, the Zorkon ships went dark. In the command center of the Zorkon flagship, Commander Kether watched in disbelief as his fleet began to crumble. What is happening? He roared, slamming his fist into the control console. Why are we losing contact with our ships? His officers scrambled to respond, but the truth was becoming clear: the humans were no longer hiding. They were fighting back, and they were winning. As the Zorkon fleet fell into chaos, Captain Ross and her team launched the final phase of their plan. Using the confusion to their advantage, they led a full-scale assault on the remaining Zorkon forces. Human commandos, equipped with advanced weaponry, stormed the alien ships, the invaders with brutal efficiency. In the end, it wasn't human technology or brute force that defeated the Zorkon. It was their ingenuity, their ability to adapt, and their refusal to give up, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The galaxy had underestimated humanity. They had believed that Earth was just another easy conquest, that humans were weak and divided. But what the Zorkon hadn't counted on was humanity's resilience, their determination, and their willingness to fight for their survival. As the last of the Zorkon forces fled Earth, broken and defeated, Captain Ross stood on the surface, watching the alien ships disappear into the distance. She knew the fight wasn't over. The Zorkon would regroup and they would return. But now, the galaxy knew the truth. Conquering humans wasn't easy. And if the Zorkon or any other alien force wanted to try again, they would be in for the fight of their lives.